Your compliments are boring because you're doing this. And I want to break down a couple different scenarios, starting out with basic compliments to people that you'll see in your day to day and how to spice that up. Compliments to women when you're actually flirting with a girl, how to do that the right way versus the wrong way, and all the mistakes I've seen men make with that. And then also what to do if you're actually going on a date with a girl, how to give a compliment in a longer interaction when you're actually connecting with somebody on a deeper level. There's a right way and a wrong way to do these compliments, and I've made all of the mistakes, especially in my 20s. I'm 34 years old now, but I've been practicing social skills, confidence, male to female dynamics, cold approach pickup for almost a decade at this point. All right, I was very shy. I was antisocial. My first girlfriend left me for another dude, so I had to go through this whole process the hard way. My goal was to fast track the whole process with this video so I could save you years of your journey. Now, let's just start out with basic compliments to people, which, by the way, that in itself is life-changing. Do not downplay this concept, guys. I think a lot of dudes think they're too cool to give out a compliment to someone they don't know, or they're afraid to do it. I would encourage you guys to give out greetings and compliments to people whenever you have an opportunity to do so. You can always push the comfort zone slightly, practice social confidence, practice your communication skills, develop the skill set to just be able to impulsively say something to somebody even though you don't know them. Most people are so shackled in their day-to-day that they can't do that. I would encourage you to try to practice this wherever you see the opportunity to do so. Elevator, walking down the street, cashier, random person that's next to you in the gym. Like, give out greetings, start opening and approaching people, and don't be afraid to give out a compliment. And some dudes, they overcomplicate this part of it. Right? I'm gonna get into more advanced stuff in the second half of this video, but on the front end, switch your perspective up, because you don't need to have a big criteria when it comes to giving out a compliment. I think dudes are like, well, I'm not gonna compliment if there's really nothing to say. There's nothing to say because you haven't gone through this process over and over and over again yet. I'm very good at being able to compliment somebody even though there's not much to compliment them on, only because I've always practiced just putting myself out there. When you're looking for an excuse to not do it, you're gonna find the excuse. Now, most people, they don't have some obvious sparkly jacket on or something like that. But believe it or not, you can actually just compliment them on anything you notice about them. It could be their shoes, it could be their jacket, it could be their style, it could be their look, it could be their tattoo, it could be their accessories, their watch. It doesn't matter. I hear the biggest bullshit excuse all the time from dudes about like, well, there's nothing to really compliment them on. Look, if there is absolutely nothing to say in terms of a compliment, you can always give a greeting like, hey, good morning, hey, good afternoon, hey, good evening, hey, how's it going? And then you just tell them, have a good day. Have a good day. Happy Wednesday. Enjoy your coffee. Enjoy your walk. You have a very cute dog. That in itself is more than enough. I'm telling you guys, I have seen people in my day-to-day where they looked so down, and just me saying, hey, good morning, guys, with a good vibe, with a smile, with good energy, good vocal tonality, projecting my voice, they respond to it. And then if I just say, hey, let's have a good day, take care, it literally made their day. Like, I actually noticed a visible transformation in some people. I joke around with my coaches that we vibe shock people. You can go out giving out a vibe shock, and it will actually snap people out of what they had. They're stuck in their shitty, stressful day-to-day routine. They're in their head. Most people are walking around like that. You don't need to be that way. You don't need to be that way. You could choose to be that way, but you could also choose, even though you're not feeling that well, you could also choose to put a smile on, walk around with your head high, and make eye contact with people and give out greetings. And the people that respond, you can extend the conversation a little bit. There is not a big criteria for this, but this one skill set is so powerful, man. So powerful. So the greeting itself, when it comes to people in passing, it's not anything crazy. Don't overcomplicate it. Just focus more on the vibe. And we're just doing it in passing, just as a means of putting out good vibes into the world for the betterment of humanity, bro. Humanity has so much stressful bullshit, negativity going on in society. You can do better. You can be different. And it'll make you feel good as well. Spreading that peace and love, it feels good, man. Trust me. You push the comfort zone and you make the world a better place at the same time. It's a win-win all around. Now let's go to one step further than that, because a lot of people, if you give the compliment and you see that they're responding positively, my next recommendation would be just simply elaborate on the compliment, right? You see a girl and you like her outfit, you can say, hey, I really like your outfit, by the way, or I love your style. That would be the initial compliment, but you could then elaborate on it. What about it caught your eye? How could you articulate their style? Just take 1 to 2 sentences and elaborate on it with a smile. It doesn't need to be anything crazy. It could be as simple as, hey, I really like your style, by the way. Thank you. Yeah, I just noticed actually the way that you have the red and the white matching with the belt and the shoes. It looks really good. It caught my eye. Okay, that's how you take a generic compliment, deliver it with a good vibe. You get some level of acknowledgement from the person, which, by the way, most dudes, they think that the other person's gonna respond super positively. Most people are not just going to like drop everything they're doing and want to have a conversation with you initially, because that's just not the societal norm. The societal norm is, how's everything going? Good, you? Good. Have a good day. You too. Right? Like that's societal norm. But most people, they're open to having more of a conversation if you can provide the vibe. So you started out, be prepared that they're not going to say much, and then it's back on you to carry a little bit more of the conversation and just elaborate on whatever the thing is that you notice. If it's a tattoo, hey man, I like your tats. Then say something else about the tat. Yeah, it really caught my eye. The way the sword's kind of like pointing out like that shit looks fresh, bro. I like that shit. Did it hurt on the elbow, by the way? Like, that's how you could get into a full conversation. From there, you could go into different topics, name introduction. Before you know it, you actually could make a friend off of literally doing this one thing. Don't overcomplicate the initial compliment. Now let's move into a slightly different form of complimenting, which is like flirting or displaying intent with women. And most dudes are scared shitless when it comes to this. And ironically, it's the same thing. It's different when it comes to dating and longer interactions, which I'll get to in a minute. But on the front end, if you don't know the person, you're not going to go into some crazy deep compliment. It's just too much. And it would honestly be disingenuous because you don't really know anything about the person, which ties into the later point, by the way. It's the opposite. But on the front end, when it comes to just going up to a girl, displaying intent, or sprinkling in a little bit of flirtatiousness, just simply focus on your vibe. When I see dudes that can't flirt, it's because their vibe is not there. They don't have the charm. They talk in a weird way with a weird voice. They sound kind of nervous. They kind of hold eye contact. It's all about the vibe, man. It's all about the vibe. If you could go up with a good smile, good eye contact, talking slow, that's like 2/3 of it right there. And when it comes to displaying intent, it's very subtle, man. Don't overcomplicate this shit. I'd actually rather you keep it super simple. That way you're not in your head, but you really have a nice slow delivery with good eye contact and a smile. And you could just tell the girl, I thought you looked really nice. I thought you looked really cute. I thought you looked cute. I liked your look. I saw you walking by, and I must say, I love your style. Right? Like that is enough to get into a conversation, or that is enough to just do in passing if you're just getting started with this. You could start out by just giving out a little bit of intent in passing. If you're more comfortable or you're talking to the girl for a while, you can still say this in the middle of the conversation. I thought you looked really cute, by the way. Or I really like your eyes, by the way. It doesn't need to be anything crazy. Just a little bit of spark. I'm just not like this. Right? So you just put in a little bit of a smile. That's all. Nothing too crazy. Now, the mistake I see dudes make when it comes to flirting and intent, they'll open with a little bit of intent, or they sprinkle in just a little bit. But then the next mistake is they then just proceed to go into question, answer, boring interview mode conversation. So just because you displayed intent that one time does not mean that now the whole conversation is flirty. Flirting is a tool that you will need to periodically re-inject into the conversation. You just do a little bit. It's not really enough seasoning. It's like salt, right? Too much salt, you ruin the dish. Not enough salt, it's pretty bland. And most dudes, they have such a big deal for them to even say the first time, and then they just go into nervous question interview mode. Where are you from? What do you like to do? It's like, no, man, I recommend just sprinkle in a little bit, but then later on, inject a little bit of a tease. Turn that tease into like a playful push-pull, right? Like you could tease her, and then you could say the tease, and you could be like, but you know, you're cute, it's okay, right? Like you could inject that little bit of a thing, and man, that adds so much more flirtatious energy than just question, answer. All right, so that's the mistake I see dudes make when it comes to flirting. Now, when it comes to dating, though, like long-term not long-term dating, but like a longer interaction, now you're going to want to compliment in a different way because you actually have time to get to know the girl. The longer the interaction goes, the deeper, the more specific, the more detailed the compliment can be. And this is where compliments can really hit hard, honestly. Because if you've had more than a 10 to 20 minute interaction with a woman, you're going to start to get to know her. And dude, attractive women, they've been told their whole life that they know they're attractive, right? What you want to do is find a way to compliment the girl on something other than her look. Something other than her look. Okay? And as you get to know the girl, you'll start to gather more information about her. What is her viewpoint on the world? What did she go through in her younger years? What was something she overcame in her life? What is the thing she wants to accomplish in her life? How is she different than a lot of the people in society? What is unique about this woman? All right? Think about these concepts when you're getting to know a girl on a date, because this is how you could actually really give a genuine compliment that's deep. And also, I would recommend, this is another tool you could do, is you also tell her why you're pleasantly surprised about that thing, or why you admire that quality in her, and what makes her different than the other people, the other women that you've either dated or spoken to. Right? That's what makes the compliment very genuine. Okay, so that could be something like, hey, honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I'm pleasantly surprised after getting to know you. You could say this towards the middle of the date. Honestly, I wasn't expecting you to be like this. And don't lie. If it's not genuine, don't say that. But you can be pleasantly surprised, or you can get to know her on a level that's not what you expected, right? Most likely that's what it is. If you actually spend hours getting to know somebody, there's going to be things you learn about that person that were not what you expected on the front end. And so that's why this is not a lie. This is not manipulation. It's just making the compliment more specific and detailed to the person, which will hit harder if you guys have been connecting. And you can say, no, honestly, when I first got to know you, I thought you were like blank, blank, blank. And say this in a playful way. Okay, you can have a little fun with it, but you can tell the girl what you honestly were expecting her, if you're pleasantly surprised or if you're genuinely impressed. But after getting to know you, honestly, I really like how you're blank, blank, blank. I think like it's so rare nowadays, because I feel like so many girls are like blank, blank. Okay, so that's one way. Honestly, when I first met you, I wasn't sure about you. Like, I think maybe it's because we met out on Friday night. I just thought you were more of like, party girl, go to the college bars, kind of like, just dance, have fun. But no, on a more serious note, like, I love that we could actually have like an intellectual conversation. And I mean, especially after you tell me everything that happened, like after high school, like I can't just make up something for you guys on the video. I'm just trying to give you guys some structure that you could use, which is, you're genuinely surprised about something. You can connect with her on a more intellectual level. She's different than most girls, right? Like, that's another thing you could do. Explain to her how she's different than most women. And these shouldn't be physical attributes. It's not like your ass is different than any other ass I've ever seen, right? And guys, even if you are physically attracted to her, like, you should be getting to know the girl on a deeper level. You should be getting to know characteristics about her that make her special, genuine, and unique. And if there isn't any of those things, and the girl's basic as fuck, and you're really not impressed by her, and she has nothing that you admire, well then, like, that's a pretty good indicator. Give it time to get to know the girl, but if you're still feeling that way, then that's probably a pretty good indicator that you're not connecting with the right women. Because there's cool girls out there. I promise you, there's cool girls out there that you could really, really connect with. And again, on the front end, the compliments should be a little bit more generic, a little bit less specific. But the further in that you get to know somebody, the deeper and more unique of a compliment you could give the person, the less it becomes about their physical appearance, and the more you could appreciate or admire something. Like, I honestly, I must say, I really admire how independent you are. Like, when I met you, I was not expecting that, honestly. But like, after hearing that you ended up leaving your mom's house at 18, and then you pretty much just like went to college, but after that you went straight into your own apartment and stuff, and like, you've really handled all your work shit. And I don't know, I could tell by the way we're having the conversation, like, honestly, That's impressive for a girl your age. So the longer you've been in the interaction with somebody and the more you've gotten to know them, we now have more information, more ammo that we could use to really create a detailed, genuine, unique compliment about the individual, about their viewpoints on the world, about the things they've gone through, about the things that we've been pleasantly surprised about them, about the qualities that they possess that we genuinely admire, and also how that's different than either the majority of the world, the majority of people that are their age, or how it's just different than what we initially had expected of them based off of the first impression. Right? That formula is very powerful when you use it properly, especially with a girl if you've been connecting with her. Already, the vibe's been building up, there's physical attraction there, we've had a couple of laughs. You could turn to her, talking slow with a little bit of a smile on your face, and tell her, no, on a serious note though, I must say, like, I'm really impressed, or I'm pleasantly surprised, or that's very admirable of you, honestly, I must say. And then you elaborate on the compliment. And then you explain how it's different than what you initially thought, or how it's different than most other people her age. And that shit will hit hard, I promise you. If all these other pieces in place, that's how you could deliver a powerful compliment to a girl when the attraction's already there. And now you're gonna have that comfort and connection in place as well. All right, it's not just you're cute, you're hot, you're sexy. There's more detailed, genuine compliments the further we go into the interaction. If you wanna get better with the social confidence side, or you want to get better with the flirting and interacting with women, and ideally just get a more abundant dating life too, you could click the button down below to work with me personally. That's all for this video, guys. Talk soon. Peace out. Let's get it.